The city's Department of Health and Human Services and Inspections ordered the business closed. Seized evidence and interviews with the two women working there are driving our ongoing investigation. Zhu was arrested on September 26th and faces arraignment today. This marks the start of our campaign to end human trafficking in Methuen. These crimes exploit the vulnerable, and they threaten our community. We want to say to the people running these operations, and we know that there are others operating now within the city of Methuen, we want them to know that we're coming for them next. To the Johns that fuel this despicable trade, we want to say that you are not invisible, and we intend to target you with the full force of law. I want to say thank you to the Methuen police officers that have worked this investigation and continue to do so. I want to thank our partners in law enforcement, including the Lawrence Police Department, the Essex County District Attorney's Office, Homeland Security, and the IRS. Above all, I want to thank our vigilant residents who first reported this suspected activity and pointed us in the right direction. And with that, I will turn it over to the mayor for a brief statement.
Good morning. Today marks an important moment in Methuen's fight against human trafficking and sexual servitude. This is just the beginning. The city of Methuen has zero tolerance for these terrible crimes in our community, and we are making that clear with decisive action. I want to acknowledge the people and departments who made this possible. First, Chief Scott McNamara and the Methuen Police Department. Their determination and professionalism in pursuing this case has been extraordinary. Also, Director Kaylee Teagan-Jampak in the Department of Health, Human Services, and Inspections, who acted immediately to enforce our laws and protect public safety. And of course, the concerned citizens of Methuen, our neighbors and small business owners, who came forward with information that helped launch this investigation. Without you, this operation might still be hidden in plain sight. Let me be clear. From a policy standpoint, we are declaring war on human trafficking in the city of Methuen. We will identify and apprehend traffickers. We will shut down every business in our city that profits from this evil, and we will hold landlords accountable if they enable it. If you are engaged in these crimes, we will find you, and as the chief mentioned, we are coming after you next. Methuen is a community that stands for dignity, safety, and justice. Human trafficking has no place here. Today is a first step, but it will not be the last. I'm also announcing today that I am establishing a human trafficking task force in the city so that we can continue to work together and combine our efforts to tackle this issue. Together with our police, our public health professionals, and our law enforcement partners at the state and federal level, and of course our vigilant residents, we will root out this exploitation and protect the people of Methuen. Thank you.
So with that, we'll answer any questions that you may have.
I have one. The resident we interviewed said she'd been working with you guys for about 2 years on this. How did you guys get to the point that you were able to issue the search warrant? Was there like a catalyst after these past 2 years that allowed your officers to actually go inside?
Well, I can say that, yeah, this has been an ongoing investigation, and we started to develop more in the last 90 days or so. Obviously, we conducted surveillance operations that led to us stopping a number of patrons that were coming and going from that business. From that, we developed some specific intelligence. Ultimately, we were able to actually put an undercover police officer into the establishment, and we allege that officer was in fact solicited while in the business. So with that, we were able to apply for and obtain a search warrant for the premises, and that's more or less how that investigation developed.
And there were 2 women found in the basement, but again, this resident tells us she's been seeing this for years, so I have to imagine there's more victims.
Well, there were two women that were working there, and one of the reports that we're getting from concerned residents was that they had seen women entering the business, but they never would see them leaving the business, which suggested that they were there overnight, of course. And that's what we found. We found in the basement essentially was made almost like a residential apartment, that they were living there long-term.
So there's just two women when you went there, but it's believed that women have been coming in and out of this business.
It's possible that there are other people that were working there, but these were the primary two victims that we found working at the business.
Could you tell us about where those two women are now?
We believe they're in New York City. We, of course, reached out and offered to provide whatever services that they're willing to accept. But of course, they are adult females, and it's up to them whether or not they want to avail themselves of any services that we're able to provide.
So after they were interviewed, they were free to go?
They were, yeah.
Can you tell us just about the severity of human trafficking here in Methuen? The fact that you're going to set up a whole task force now means that this must be a big issue here.
Yes, so there are definitely some additional business entities that are suspected in our eyes to be engaging in this activity, and our plan is to focus on those next. But I think broadly speaking, it's really critical for us to do everything we can to work with our federal and state partners, and I think also on a regional basis with other communities in the Merrimack Valley and even here at the local level to do more, to do things like overhaul business regulatory frameworks, unmasking shell companies that could help reveal business owners, supporting effective survivor-centered law enforcement, and also finding ways to close loopholes in the commercial real estate industry. So there are a whole host of things that I think we need to do. But in terms of the next step, my plan is to convene this task force. It would include, obviously, the Methuen Police Department, our Department of Health, Human Services, and Inspections, and also, of course, the city's legal department, so that we can begin to really hone in on these issues and the reports that we receive from residents and get at this from a broader standpoint. Now, I think the most critical thing here is, I want our residents who see this type of activity or suspect it to be forthcoming, to reach out and share their concerns with us so that we can have, in essence, a path forward by way of, leads and the like. So, this really is a combined effort.
And Chief, how would you go about charging the Johns in this case? Is there a client list that you found?
In terms of future operations?
Mm-hmm. Or from Beauty Garden Spa?
Well, in some cases, to develop this particular investigation, we were working with some of the people that were patronizing the establishment to develop information that allowed us to get a search warrant. So we believe that we do have to attack this from the demand side of the equation, absolutely. That's something that we're looking to do in terms of future operations.
So any of the customers, will they be charged?
Any of the customers?
Yeah, the people coming by this business?
Not at this point, not with respect to this particular investigation, but that something like that could develop in the future, absolutely.
And was the manager also the owner? If not, is there an owner that was aware this was going on?
Yeah. The person we arrested, we're referring to as the manager, but we believe that there is actually a co-manager, and we also have a warrant for that person's arrest. I can give you the information on that.
Do you have their name?
I do. The name of the person who we also have an arrest warrant is Yi, which is Y-I-U-Y-U, Hung, H-U-A-N-G, and that person has an address out of Brooklyn, New York.
What's their age, if you have it?
I'm sorry?
Do you have their age? For the co-manager?
Gentlemen, do you have that approximate age for that other warrant?
34.
Okay, age 34.
And that was the co-manager. Is there an owner or a landlord of the building? What do they own?
There is a landlord, and that is something that we're taking a close look at, not just in this investigation, but others that are developing throughout our city. And I do want to say, just to follow up on the question that was asked previously, how pervasive is the issue? Well, as we said, we suspect there are other operations in our own city that we believe it's happening now, but it's clearly happening in the Commonwealth. I think it's a pervasive problem across the Commonwealth and frankly across our nation. cities and towns that tolerate this activity, what you see is the first one will pop up, and if it's being tolerated, before you know it, there's a half a dozen or more. So we're committed to doing what we can on a local level to eradicate human trafficking here within the borders of the city of Methuen. That is our collective obligation, the mayor and I, to do everything we can in our power to eradicate that, and we intend to do so.
Any indication that any of the victims were minors?
There's absolutely no indication of that whatsoever.